in the world of Elite Dangerous. And we're just getting our equipment together here.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Watching the last episode of
Lost in Space?
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
About 5 minutes left, so.
That sounds about right. Once you start watching a thing, you really can't put it down. And now, let's see here. I have a lot of bounties I should collect on. 16, 26, 12, 1. Oh, I get 1,000 credits from Aisling Duval. I guess we'll start there. I'm too far forward here. Hang on. They put your head in the wrong place in this VR situation. There we go. Okay, refuel. Missions. No, this isn't going to help me. But we're going to take on a few, data delivery missions. Something lightweight. Unless you have something better for me to do.
I'm gonna finish watching this, and then I'll get back to playing the game again.
I can tell you what happens. If you really want. Ooh, we gotta take that one. Let's see here. Oh, you know what I have to do? Go to outfitting. I need I guess we can have another shield here. We don't really need the Xeno scanner at the moment. Don't need that either. We need the Well, we could take the military grade composite armor, but we would drastically reduce our hull. We need the collector limpet controller class 5. Where the hell is it? Oh, no. No.
Oh, the poor Robinsons weren't able to get back to the Resolute. They're stuck in some other damn binary system now.
Yeah, they got shafted by being sent to another star system, but it is the home of the Danger Will Robinson robot.
Yeah. That's not a good sign.
It'll be interesting, I'm sure. We're going to encounter a hostile species because the fools that built the star drive for the colony ship stole it from an alien civilization, and they're not happy about it.
Yeah, the Robinsons are the ones who got to pay the price.
For mankind's foolish mistake. Oh. I don't know, they'll probably make peace with the alien species, although it looks like it's not a species, a biological species, it's a machine species, synthetic.
Probably.
Or biosynthetic. So, they're in deep shit, is what that means. Okay, so it turns out, by the way, I found out what the mystery was around our missing module locker slots.
What's that?
Looks like they've reduced the limit that you can have down to 120, and they've gradually chosen through attrition. If you leave a slot open after outfitting your ship, it subtracts it from you.
It's probably a good thing I'm down to like 70 modules right now, so...
Did you continue to see a decline, or...?
I haven't looked lately.
Well, keep an eye out now.
I've been busy for a while, so...
Well, yeah, but it tells you there's a number on your screen. Anyway.
I'm nowhere near, outfitting bay anytime soon.
Where are you?
Far, far away.
Well, all I see is solo play. I can't tell what system you're in.
Yeah, solo play is better when you want to sit and watch Netflix on the side monitor. That way you don't have to worry about people randomly coming and trying to kill you.
I guess.
But again,
they're gonna
at this
change.
point, there's not much they can do. So
they're going to change those rules. If you're a member of a power play, you're going to have to be in open play after chapter 4 comes out. So that little advantage is going to disappear from you if you're a member of the power play. But I think that's just going to make power play horribly unpopular.
it just means people aren't going to do it if they want to go into solo just for purposes of what I'm doing.
That's right. Yeah, they're gonna say screw this, and they're not gonna be in power play anymore. Plus, I've got several open invites now to join factions, like other groups of players. Gradually, it looks like the players are organizing into groups, and ahead of Chapter 4's release. So, what that means, I don't know. I don't think I'll be getting...
It'll be like every other online game I've ever played where you have to be, or you join a fucking group or something just for some random reason that doesn't do anything in the long run.
Well, yeah.
I'll probably avoid that for quite a while because yeah. Guilds and clans and alliances and all that, they're overrated.
Yeah, unless there's some reason that you want to be part of a guild. In general, like they have to offer you some incentive, but I mean these things are fairly organic. They come together on their own, so the people that run the games very seldom see the point. Now the elite crowd is a little bit more sophisticated, and the age dispersion is a little wider. So you get everything from, you know, well, it's not like a game that you want your 13-year-old playing. But if you're above age of 19, I would say, you're going to start taking an interest in this game. And anyone up to age, well, as we know, up to age 60 almost, is pretty much is potential audience. So they've got a pretty good audience, and that kind of demographic is for a game is incredible. You don't usually see that. And I think VR might have a lot to do with it. I've encountered a good number of players who have VR. In fact, I've been seeking them out. You're one of the few people who doesn't have VR that I talk to. You and Spike, actually. Although I can't remember, does Spike have VR?
I don't think so.
I don't think he does either. It'd be nice if they offered the VR people a few more options, like having chat windows and whatnot in game, or just improve the interface. But I'm not sure anyone has a clear idea how to improve the interface in a VR environment beyond what you see in the game anyway. I mean, there's holograms all over the damn place. There's a concept of depth that you don't get in the real world. So you can literally mount things wherever you want. But I'd like to be able to drag a window with information in it wherever I want it dragged and build my own interface. And for Christ's sake, in the year 3000 whatever, I think you're probably going to have that. You know. Anyway, I'm almost promoted to post captain, so as soon as I'm captain, I'll be on my way to admiral. which will be nice. Just waiting for one component. It was only supposed to take 8 minutes to come in here, and I don't know where it is. It should be here.
Hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta find a restroom.
Okay. Okay, we're ready.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, nice. Oh, I got some more data from the Minimar system. Isn't that wonderful? That's where the Acropolis is holed up right now. And it didn't jump this turn, so I didn't jump with it. I actually left my ship aboard the Acropolis last night, anticipating that it would jump with the Acropolis, but Acropolis stayed put and didn't move. That's because the Thargoids attacked another planet, another system that was right next to the Acropolis, so they had no reason to move. And I'm not sure, the Thargoids may be targeting the Acropolis. It's not clear yet from the data and canon.
Following the Acropolis because it's an Aegis ship?
Yeah, Aegis. Well, we can go to those three, and then... Well, there's 4 systems in tight formation with one another, so... By the way, did you hear that they discovered planet Vulcan?
Yeah, when the Vulcan's coming to visit.
Well, we don't know if there's any life on Vulcan yet. Data is sparse. All we know is that there's a planet 2.6 times the width of Earth orbiting 40 Eridna A. And actually, that's a good question. Does 40 Eridna, are we in a star map that carries it? 40 Eridani. Nope. No 40 Eridani here. I think they should put that in the game here, though.
Oh, they have a tendency to put discoveries like that in-game in a short amount of time.
Well, we'll see. I don't think they put every exoplanet that we've discovered near Earth into the game. They put Transit 1 in, I know that, but... so some of them make it in, but not necessarily all. Be nice if they did, though. Thing is, you can't really tell. 40 Eridna A is part of a trinary system. The components B and C are are just, you know, kind of far away from it, but they're still gravitationally bound to one another, so they're part of the same star system. But we'll see if 40 Eridna appears on our star maps. I'll keep an eye out. I'm leaving Galileo Station. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to spend this much time in the bubble.
Docking coupler disengaged. Regulate speed until clear of exclusion zone.
But then again, here's where I have to improve my Federation rank. Can't really do that in the California sector.
No. Gotta figure out what show I want to watch next.
Oh, there's some good movies on there. I just watched another Bruce Willis flick called
Take care, Commander.
something Violence.
I got a bunch of shows that are saved that I need to finish watching. I started watching at one point or another and haven't finished watching yet. What should I watch?
I'll have to get on that.
Not too worried about it.
Jumped to the wrong system. Indeed, that looks to be exactly what has happened.
Frameshift drive charging.
Locked and engaged hyperdrive. These two star systems are right next to each other on the map, so it's hard to distinguish. This is only 0.41 light years away. Ooh, we have a white dwarf coming into range.
Incoming mission critical message.
I haven't been to one of these in a while. We must visit Euclid Station. Two-flat electronics. Are they hostile? Do we like them? Target planet locked. We're headed for Euclid Station near a white dwarf star. It is a Coriolis space station. You know what I want? I want a model of a Coriolis space station for my office.
Well, the parts printer, you can make all the pieces and then assemble it.
Well, but how do I get the parts? Like, where can I order them from?
Parts printer.
Yeah, but the parts are all, like, really small, and I want one that's big. I don't know why the hell they don't sell them on the Elite Dangerous website. You would think that they would have models of all the ships that you could have, So you could personalize it and paint them and put them on your desk at work and all the rest of it, but they don't do that. Oh, weapons fire detected. Threat 1. We're going to investigate.
You do that.
And then we'll kill it, whatever it is, because we have to. La la la, la la la, la la la. One thing's for sure, no one's watching my videos because of my singing.
That's the reason you want to use.
Well, I'm not sure it's the least harmful reason, but
36 new astronomical objects found in this system.
my Twitter account got over 1,200 hits yesterday from people watching videos, because that's all I post there.
Watching your videos or just checking out your...
Well, they're watching you. Oh, time to shoot this asshole. Oh, he's
I
dead!
thought all your videos are posted to YouTube.
They are. I also posted on Twitter.
Oh, did you? Okay. I don't have Twitter, so I couldn't tell you the first time what's going on there.
Okay, so what happened here was there was a threat, and then I blew the threat up in about, 10 shots. Fired all at once. And now we have 89 seconds left in order to collect all this crap. Repair. Oh, you know what? We have to put... No. Collector limpet. Where's our collector limpet? There we go. Collector limpet armed. Firing. We just lost 2 limpets, I think. Ooh. Crystal shards. Focus crystals, galvanizing alloys. And that is all we have. Cargo vest close. Retracting weapons. That was a Cobra Mark III versus an Anaconda. He had no chance. He lasted 5 seconds and I blew him up. So there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna join Leon Rui this term.
Yeah, better hurry.
I only have a week. successfully, then for Euclid Station again.
Crankshaft drive charging.
FSD charging. We're 2,057 light seconds away. At sublight, that would take over a year to reach. However, at 15C, it will take less than 3 minutes. And we're traveling 30C and still climbing. 40C. 45C. I'm 4 light seconds away and I still don't see the station on my screen. .0 light seconds, still no station. I should be able to see the station from here. Oh, wait, there's a pixel. I can see it now at 20,000 kilometers and closing, 10,000 and closing. We can go sublight at 8,000.
Delacey, Alpha, Romeo, 0. Please submit a
85% ship integrity.
We're in deep trouble.
I'll compare it now.
This is one of those curious space stations that has hammers on either side. And the hammer almost hit me in the head. That's okay though, I periodically take a ball peen hammer and slam it into the end of my skull to make sure everything still works. Unfortunately, I can't remember the last time I did that. But I'm sure I have before. So everything must be working perfectly. Welcome to Euclid Station.
on the ground. Commence power down. You are most welcome, Commander.
Oh, we have grid resistors available. That's a good idea. Don't get those very often. We have to massacre the rival faction ships. We need to kill 40 of them. That could take all week. I guess if you have like a wing and you gang up on some of these single player missions together, you could take down 40 ships in one fight and then 40 ships in the next fairly quickly. Provided most of them are sidewinders.
I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon.
Why not? It'll be fun.
I'm a little too far away to do any good.
Oh. Well, we are at 50% Lieutenant Commander, finally. So, we're halfway there. We have 3 more missions to run, and then we can join... Actually, you know what? We'll join right now. Power contact. Claim our salary, and then we'll quit. Quit!
3,000 light years, I think that's my next stop.
Where the hell are you going?
I'll let you find me on the map. It'll be more entertaining.
I can't, you're in solo play.
Not anymore.
Well,
In open play now.
it's the first I've heard of it. Oh, she's slipping into 5th place. So who are we joining here? Oh yeah, he's in 6th place, actually. He gained a slot, but of course they all fluctuate up and down. And we will leave this power. We can't join another power for 12 hours. Okay. I don't think she sends her goons after me when I'm rank 0 like that. I waited till I declined in rank down to nothing before I left.
I don't know. When I left, I just jumped straight to Leon Yui's ship, and I never got interdicted.
Really? Okay. Well, no, she sends... I mean, you have to be in her territory, but if you're in her territory, her ships might attack you.
I've been in and out of her territory. That first
She only attacks you for 3 days. After that, she leaves you alone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That first day or whatever, I was in her territory. I never got
Interdicted.
bothered.
Okay.
That just means I didn't get bothered. It doesn't mean that she'll leave you alone.
No, but I think she will. I'm not important enough for her to care.
Oh.
Plus, I can join her again later if I really feel that committed, but I don't. She's a drama queen. Like all politicians. They all need the drama.
Inuloma. That was something my wife watched.
You should see how our Prime Minister is leveraging this non-existent NAFTA deal with the United States. He's playing on Canadians' dislike of Trump I wouldn't go so far as to say hatred universally, but there is a segment of the population that definitely hates that man. And he's playing on that in order to drive up his own popularity, and it's working. So politicians definitely like the drama.
All seasonals are even on here.
Okay, so you claim you're on the map now. Probably, given your disposition, headed out to, I would guess you're headed for Colonia. Yep, you're out to Colonia.
I'm halfway there.
As predicted. Why'd you decide to head out to Colonia?
Because there's 4 engineers out there I want to open up.
You need to do something in the bubble first to get them. So I hope you did those things. You're in the Scoude sector. Charlie Hotel Bravo Delta 14-34. You're near a nebula. This is the... It's not named. Well, it's the Scoudi Nebula, apparently, according to the map. And you are some distance away. So what ship did you take out there, the Anaconda, or did you opt for another one?
Asp Explorer.
Yeah. Are you Elite and Explorer yet?
Yep.
Okay.
I've been for a while.
You're not really getting anything. What's going on here? I see only 2 engineers that I'm invited to in the Colonia region.
I've got 3 that I have active invites to. 1, all I have to do is gain some rank with the Colonia Council, which reputation, which isn't going to be very hard. I could probably do it right now just by selling all my fucking shit to the station here that's controlled by the Colonia Council that I'm sitting in.
Are you going to pass through Sagittarius A, the galactic core?
Or 15,000 light years.
Yeah, it's about another half. Well, you're closer to it in Colonia than you are at Earth.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and then if you're really industrious, you can go out to Beagle Point and you'll have to cross the full 100,000 light years of the galaxy to do that. That'll take you a while. This is a big galaxy we're in. Very, very big.
Let's put it this way, I started heading out here Sunday night. I'm halfway and I just travel 2 to 3,000 light years a night. I'm just jumping from one station to the next right now.
Are there stations out there?
Yeah, there's like 5 stations in between the bubble and Colonia. They got put in game 2 or 3 years ago even.
Yeah, they're just not on my map anywhere.
Well, I had to look them up to find them.
Yeah. You're fairly close to the Flyed Guy Nebula as well. Is that nebula you're in, does it have any stars in it?
I don't know, I haven't really looked that close.
Because I don't see any. Oh, there's one. Right at the middle of the damn nebula. There's the system you're in. You're in the nebula right now. You might not be able to tell because nebulas are fairly spread out. If you look at a galactic map, they're a big ball of gas, but when you're in them, you probably wouldn't be aware unless someone told you you were in a nebula. Unless they're being lit up from the
I'm
sky.
now friendly with the Colonia Council. I
How the
only
hell-
sold 2.4 million credits worth of cartographics data.
The Colonia Council? Oh, because they have stations set up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time you get out there, you should have what you need to get the engineers that you want. I'm gonna follow
Like I
them
said,
out.
I've got all but one actually invites to right now, so.
I would have gone out there with you if you'd asked me, but I'm glad I didn't now that you're out there because I don't like being first to do anything.
I don't know, I've been jumping a lot of neutron stars.
Yeah, well, I can do that too.
But you gotta travel 600 light years to get to the closest neutron star, though.
Yeah, I haven't tried stripping down a ship yet to get as much distance as I can out of it.
I'm maxed out at 65, so I can only do 260. Yeah, about 265 light years, I think, is about the longest one I've done.
That's pretty good. Longest jumps I've heard of are in the 280s, so you're not going to get any better than that. Odds are. Okay.
Got all kinds of donate missions out here. Oh, they want 81 units of basic meds. Where the fuck are you going to get that?
I think if
What
you
you
don't...
buy that is 10,000 light years either
think-
direction.
That's why you fill up your cargo hold with useless stuff, and then you drag it out there. Well, not useless stuff you think might be helpful in building a colony or a space station. You drag all these materials out there, and then you sell them.
Or you just donate a bunch of money and gain their favor and trust and everything else. Have money, 300 million worth I can burn, just to burn.
Yeah, for you it made sense to go out to Colonia. For me, I'm not so sure it does. 100 million is really not enough money to well, I guess you could get out there.
I'm now allied with the Colonia Council.
There you go.
I can buy my favoritism.
So now you can come home.
No, I'm gonna go to Colonia and open up those dipshits first.
Yeah, I know, it'd make you
Ally of Colonia Council.
Why the hell would you travel halfway the way out there and then turn around and come back home again? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that'd be a good question. So, I'm figuring I'm going to jump to all these stations in between the bubble and Colonia. On the way back, I might just screw around with the neutron highway. Jumping from one neutron star to the next isn't too big a deal. I did find one that was pretty fairly interesting. How they got the spirally tails going on and shit.
Yeah.
Although this one here, the beams were just bouncing around all over. It was just fucked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I took a video of it, so I'll have to post it so you can read it.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Check it out.
Hopefully the name is also recorded.
Well, you'll be able to look at you'll be able to see my cockpit hood and everything. Be able to figure it out. But yeah, it's like probably 5,000 light years away.
Yeah, I mean, those beams are supposed to be stable. I've seen them in spirals, and that's hard enough to deal with. But one that is a pulsar that is just like all over the goddamn map, that would be very, very annoying. Because you have to stay in the jet to get your boost. You don't have to stay long, you only need about 5 seconds, but if it's bouncing around all over the damn place,
You gotta be at the right speed too, though.
and close
Going
enough
too
to
fast or too slow.
and close enough to the star so that you get the maximum effect. So if the focal point bounces around, at least you're able to get.
I have more than just one video. Where the hell the rest of them go?
You only have one video.
I got a video I stuck on your site. Because when I was sitting there messing around in that duel that one day.
Oh yeah.
So I know.
Ashby City, our next target. This is an Achilles class starport.
Oh, here it is.
Delacey, Alpha Romeo. Be aware, weapon fire restrictions are in place in this sector. Landing permission granted. You are clear for approach to pad 10.
Scan detected.
Clear for automated approach vectoring.
Oh, I just almost saw 2 belugas collide. There's 3 belugas here, and they're having trouble out navigating each other. Oh, one's gonna totally crash into the other. Nope, they're just sitting there.
Landing gear deployed.
I think they're stymied. I'm not sure what to do.
NPCs?
What's that?
These are NPCs?
Yeah, and because I'm wearing the VR helmet, I can turn around and look behind me.
But you just see the inside of the cockpit then?
No, if you go into camera mode, and then you look behind you, you can see what's going on during the landing. So I was looking behind my ship from the rear camera view, and they're sitting there all stymied. They're not like, no one's moving, they're just stuck. And they're still out there. They're not coming in, so I don't know what the hell's going on. I think they're all just confused and confounded. They're not sure what to do. Anyway,
Do you have authorization to be inside?
Pretty
Some of it is
hilarious.
about a third of the way uploaded.
I think it's February of next year my free Office account runs out. But I'm trying to negotiate with Microsoft for a graduated account. So I'm completing the BizSpark, what used to be called BizSpark and is called Startups for Companies. And I'll become a graduated member, which means I'll get to continue some of my services at a reduced rate. For at least another year. But I'm going to have to be making a shitload of money by 2020 or I'm going to start losing web access. And I don't want to. They gave me lots of free stuff and I'm used to having it now. What else? Mission board.
You've been spamming me pretty good here.
What?
Oh, my Outlook through your website is like full.
Oh, I doubt it's actually full.
385 emails.
Well, you can set up your mailbox to like put all the spam into a separate folder if you want.
It's all stuff from you.
Directly from me? I doubt it. It's probably coming from an automated...
From your Twitter account.
Yeah, well, unsubscribe it. You probably haven't looked at it in months. If there's 382 of them, there's probably at least 6 months worth of, like, crap there. I gave you that account a long time ago. It was before I started working at this at Defense, so that would have been at least 3 months ago.
I know.
You gotta read your mail. Yeah, it is funny.
Oh. I'm not too worried about it. It's mostly Twitter updates every time you post a video or something.
Yep.
It emails me.
Sometimes I do 2 or 3 videos a day, so... I'm a really big fan of this game, you have to understand.
And it looks like I get updates from other random people that tweet shit. So I don't know who they are, but...
They might subscribe to my Twitter account. You might be configured to receive their tweets as well. But even I'm not configured to get their tweets. I turned them off. The only thing I get from them is if they tell me that they like my video, I get a like. But I think that's about all I'm tracking. Unless they directly tweet me, they can't just... But none of their other activities other than likes or subscriptions get sent to me. There's quite a few of them, mind you, but I have a separate folder for that. Periodically I do an analysis. Okay, next station.
You have authorization before attempting to disembark.
Now, this one's very valuable. There's only one space station in this system.
It was uploading, now all of a sudden it's pretty much froze. So I don't know what the hell's up with that.
Your bandwidth sounds like it might be just from the way you're talking. And your voice is cutting in and out. I'm guessing your bandwidth is being pinned.
I figure I'm streaming Netflix and playing gaming on the internet all at the same time. But God knows how many other people
Yeah, you
Wi-Fi.
got a family, so you're pinning your network bandwidth. You need 100 gigabit ether or better.
I think I've got about 60.
Holy shit, that thing gave me nothing. How can I get nothing for completing a Federation mission? Well, that makes no sense.
Well, I gotta figure out it. I think download speed I'm at like 60 megs or some shit. But
That's pretty.
upload is a lot slower.
With 60 megabits for download, that should be more than adequate for a game.
Well, I'm saying for upload, the upload speed is like a lot less. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, well, usually it is because the ISPs know that most people use it for down speed. But I specifically requested up and download speeds that were more or less the same. Which is more consistent with promotion use.
Start over. Finally timed out and said it had a problem, so we'll see what it does. I want to say I've got like 6 megabytes upload, 60 megabytes download.
Shift drive charging.
Well, I mean, to give you perspective, I have three megabits download and 3 megabits upload, and that's very adequate for my level of use. And I'm constantly on the internet now. A game like this, the protocol they're using to send data through to the Amazon servers wouldn't be significant. It might be 10% of that at most during a battle. The bottleneck is really the software performance, not the network in this case. For me, anyway. But then again, I don't have 4 people using a computer at exactly the same time. Plus, if you use Wi-Fi to link your cell phones and all your other devices through a singular hub, it could be considerably higher. Because once you go on Wi-Fi, you're off the cell network and you're not using minutes from your cell phone.
Now my kids don't even have the option to use data on their cell phones.
Okay, so they're voice only.
My phone and my wife's phones automatically use Wi-Fi whenever possible.
Do they have text messaging on theirs? The children? Yeah. Okay. So you have voice, text messaging, and no data.
I have the data overridden since I'm the parent. I can allocate X amount of data for them to use, and I allocate it at like 0.0001 gigabytes because I've only got 3 gigabytes of data per month I can use.
Oh, okay.
If all 4 phones are hooked to the same plan.
Yeah. Here in Canada, you pay for your cell phone. You have unlimited long distance anywhere in Canada. You have voicemail for a little bit extra, and you have data. Data is what they're really making their money on. They're charging a premium for data here. Everyone uses their cell phone to access the web, so it's absolutely insane. Especially in the last 2 years, the web server stats that I'm collecting data on, it's showing more and more mobile use over time. Used to be that mobile was like a tiny fraction of the data consumption, but now it's quite a bit higher.
Right now, my computer's running about 17 megabytes per second if I do an internet speed test, and about 4 megabytes upload speed. Considering I got how much shit running at the same time too, though.
Well, to do a direct comparison, I have to use the same utility on my network. But I'm still pretty sure I'm getting decent network bandwidth. I mean, Canada is one of the most wired up countries in the world. And if you don't have wire or cable internet through the fiber optic network or through cable television, you can still get it through satellite at very high speed. So I mean, it's ridiculous. You can be like at the North Pole in this country and you can still have really good internet. You know what really pissed me off about the North Pole? The Russians like planting a flag there as if they're claiming it. The North Pole does not belong to Russia.
Yeah, if I go through mid-continent, I'm actually pushing quite a bit more download. Up around 50 megabytes per second upload or download. Still only about 3.5 for upload 4, 4.5, or 5. 5.8 megabytes per second upload, 50.1 megabytes download. Also depends on what servers and everything else are.
Now in Federation space. Follow all regulations before and after landing.
Hey, that should be done downloading now.
One other thing about the North Pole I should mention. I found out something at work. I don't think it's specifically classified, but it's still not general knowledge either.
Caution. Heavy traffic ahead.
The United States policy regarding Arctic transit, like the Northwest Passage, I'm not entirely sure why the Americans are trying to get the Northwest Passage declared an international waterway, because I believe the defense establishment in the United States thinks that Canada should actually claim it. And the reason that Canada gets to claim the Northwest Passage, apart from the other typical United Nations claims that we might have on the region, is so that the Americans can deny the Russia, we're part of the same alliance, and the Canadians could deny Russia the ability to transit the passage. If it's declared an international waterway, Russia can actually send its ships and submarines in there without complaint being available from the United States.
Assisted docking initiated.
In other words, it's as if two parts of the American government are not in agreement with what the policy should be. not a big deal, I guess, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute video here, but yeah. I started recording just right after I jumped into the system with goofy-ass neutron star, so you'll have to check it out. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I will. Anything and everything you upload to the website gets looked at sooner or later.
So I should really start downloading a whole lot of weird porn to it.
Yeah, that would be a great idea, because you know I'm into that. Okay.
Utanari is actually kind of very amusing.
What's that?
Utanari is actually quite entertaining.
What's that?
You'll have to Google it.
I'm still trying to get the image of Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump together in a Russian hotel room out of my head. I mean, that stuff...
I don't know why it's in your head, because I just never allowed it into my head.
I know, that was a smart move, but you can't unhear, unsee, or unread that. It's just a horrible image. I won't even curse you with it, it's terrible. She was so explicit that it would make you physically ill to hear it. Ooh. No, we'll take that one. Okay, so now we can mine 120 units of bromolite and get 2.1 million credits for that. That's not bad. Of course, you have to sit in a frickin' ring system for a god-awful long time to get 120 units of bromolite, but... Next system, one more to go. The galaxy map, please. 82 Eridani.
I forgot I downloaded that video.
Hey?
Shortly after I got my Corvette up and running, I made a video of me in a Hazardous, posted it to your site, and I forgot about it, about an hour long.
You posted it to my site?
Yeah. I just didn't realize where I stuck it, so now I'm going to move it.
Oh. You know, you can use OneDrive with my site, eh? So that you can just copy files into a folder and they automatically will upload to the site. You won't have to do anything.
Crash is cost. Kill your speed, not your credit merits.
Hey, I just figured out a way to bypass those idiots who are following me around on YouTube and using it to track me down, which star systems I'm in, etc. I could use... Shit, I collided with a station. Anyway, as I was saying, I could record the videos instead of cross-posting them to YouTube and put them up on our site. The only problem is I wouldn't reach a very wide audience. Putting them up on YouTube guarantees a wider audience.
Now that I'm done uploading shit, I'm getting a little bit better upload speed when I test it, 8.3.
You have the all clear?
Yeah.
FFC signing off.
The problem is those numbers bounce around so damn bad.
Well, the other thing is you don't realize if you're uploading through a web browser, the web browser will add a crap load of data to your upload.
Yeah.
So it's not a very efficient way to do file transfer.
Frameshift drive charging.
But even at 40 megabytes download and roughly 8 upload, that ain't too bad. I could actually get quite a bit better. I could double those numbers, but it doubles the price I pay for it too, though.
Don't you have unlimited service?
For internet, yeah. This 40 megabytes per second is actually I think I've got a 60 megabyte upload speed, and I think it's like 5 or 6 megabyte upload speed.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I pay for. That's supposed to be theoretically the minimum I'll get. Most of the time when I tested it, it's actually above 10 to 15% above those numbers.
Are you with one of the?
Kind of slow, but it's different part of night, late at night too, though.
Yeah, yeah. Are you with one of the bigger ISPs in the States, or?
Well, one of the bigger, better ones for this part of the country, Mid-Continent, has some of the better service. I have cable internet. The modem that I have, I rent from the company, and it's Wi-Fi modem. Basically, I can do whatever the hell I want at any given time and not have a problem.
Okay. Shit, this station, I bypassed it. It's sitting right next to the star, practically.
I think it's about time for me to go to bed. I gotta get up and go to work and all that shit, so.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Well, my VR components came in. I forgot to mention that, but...
Did you get that shit rebuilt then, or are you waiting for the weekend to rebuild it?
The weekend. It's still working pretty good right now, so I can survive for another day or two.
On Saturday, I got a wedding to go to. A friend of my wife's getting married, so we got a wedding to go to.
Okay. Well,
I might not be around much on Saturday.
Point being, my VR helmet will work again. Hopefully.
Okay.
We'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later.
Right. Good night.
Blocking bay access is a crime. Don't risk annihilation. Make way.
Hey there.
What's happening, man?
So, what are you doing this evening?
Oh, I've been kind of flying around Shinrarta looking for somebody to start shooting with me.
Trying to do what?
I've been trying to get picked on over at Shinrarta.
Oh, I see. No one's attacking.
Nope.
Well, if you want to be attacked, there's a bunch of people hanging out about 400 light years away from Earth, apparently, out towards where the Gnosis is. The Gnosis did a jump in the last update, and it got closer to the bubble. So there's a bunch of humans there. Oh, hang on. There's a bunch of players there, apparently, all crowded about.
Oh, is that where all the kings?
Yeah, we're all making out by the Gnosis. But find the Gnosis, and you'll find a place
I was
to be
wondering where they were all
picked
ganking at. Last time I was here, I got killed by a shieldless cobra.
What? How's that possible?
Yeah, that's what I said. It was hull tanked out, and he battery rammed me to death.
Really?
Yeah, I know he was hull tanked, and he had some dirty drives on him because he was just fast. By the time I could turn to look at him, he was already coming at me and hit me.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It
was an amazing build.
I didn't know armor could do that.
Yeah, me.
I've seen that happen before, sort of, but not that not in that scale. There was we were in Guardian space, and a wingman that I was with decided that, like, we were out on our SRVs on the ground, and so some goofball comes along in his Diamondback Explorer and starts trying to kill our SRVs. It's not like those aren't a dime a dozen or anything, right? So
right. It's what, 10 grand?
What? No, they're 1,500 a shot, right? So Anyway, we decide, okay, we'll just get back in our ships and we'll have at him, right? So we drive back to our ships, board the ships, start our engines, take off. He's still shooting at us, incredibly. Then he finally gets in his head he should run away. So he turns and starts to flee, seeing if there's two of us, and now we outnumber him. And my buddy, he just has a beluga with him, of all things. Like, as if you're going to go into Guardian space with a, with a beluga or like some passenger liner. He doesn't have any weapons, so what does he do? He crashes into the thing and blows up the Diamondback Explorer when he collides with him. It was absolutely mint. And
that's awesome.
And that was the end of that. But I mean, I didn't even get more than a few shots off at him, and it wasn't me who killed him. It was totally the beluga. I just smashes into him and blows him out of the sky. Pieces of his wreckage come back, falling down to the planet. It was like, that was epic.
That's pretty awesome.
But the beluga does have some armor, but it's not supposed to be used as a combat vessel.
I want to try it. I might even gank somebody in it.
Well, you can get those class, like if you take a bunch of those armor modules and you stick them in all of your slots, you would have a pretty tanked ship. Like if you took an Anaconda or something that had a little bit of speed on it and you crashed it into someone with all that armor and no shields, I bet you could do one hell of a lot of damage. Like, I mean, there's 9... What's that?
That might be my next mission.
Well, there are 9 slots in the Anaconda, right? So you just stick like, okay, we got a class 6. We'll pack that with a class 6 armor module. And then you get 3 class 5s. We'll stick all those, have modules. You know, like you just fill the whole fucking thing up full of armor. And see what happens when you crash it into something. And I bet you do a crap load of damage if what you're telling me is consistent and sounds correct. Well, I'm sure it is correct. I'm just saying it could be some variables like speed and whatnot. I don't know if you can get an Anaconda to go the same speed.
No, not at a whole tank, dude. They're so slow.
Yeah, I mean,
not to mention they just have to like step to the side and you'll miss every time.
Yeah. But they better step to the side because it's do or die, right? Like if they miss or fuck it up somehow, then they're done. Like right then, right there. Even a glancing blow might be enough to kill them. Plus, if you take, as one of your packages, if you take Class A 7A thruster pack with enhancements, you can get this thing to move. Like, I can still get my Anaconda to move 350 meters a second. I know it's not even top end. I can do better than that. So... yeah,
I just don't like the turn rate.
Nothing I can do about that. That seems to be an arbitrary setting in the game.
Yeah. I know the Corvette turns faster than the Anaconda does.
Wouldn't surprise me. It's a battleship though, and it also moves a lot slower. Like if you slow the Anaconda down, you can turn faster. But you know, at full throttle, the thing is not going to turn quickly. Oh shit! I'm under.
Oh, I'm getting picked on.
These are friendlies, but they've just jumped into
I don't know what by.
Hang
on, I just got, where is he?
This is a Viper. Landing.
Oh. Oh. I don't know what that was, but it hurt. Alright, hold up.
Yep.
Trespass saved.
Oh, he's got target lock breakers. God damn it. Oh, okay. God damn it.
Trespass cleared.
I must be lagging because it looks like to me like this thing. How about some FAL off? God damn.
Scan it. Scanning.
God damn. I don't know what he's got, but whenever it fucking hits me, it fucking moves my ship. Like I can physically feel it when it hits me.
Yeah, there's a weapon enhancement that does that, and I can't remember what it is. It knocks you around.
Wow. Okay, now I got you, little fucker.
What it's designed for, I think,
this
is when you
got me pegged.
when you stand toe to toe with them, it throws your targeting off, so you can't stay in the zone there. Okay, this base that I'm in orbit of and I've been slated to attack. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sacrifice my my SRB. I'm going to attack this base, but I'm going to dismiss my ship so that I don't get attacked by these friendlies. Okay, 4 kilometers away. It's taken off. The other 2 have taken off. Okay, I got a clear radar finally. They've left the base unguarded.
Yep, I ran away.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm at a 3+ sign base. So I don't know what the plus signs mean, but it's obviously a heavily guarded base, and there were 3 ships in orbit guarding it.
What are you on, a Sentry Skimmer mission?
Yeah. And if there's anyone comes back, I'm going to be in deep shit. I'll have to dismiss my ship and sacrifice my SRB.
Okay, don't do that. Don't go after the base. There's an easier way to do that mission.
How?
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go about 100 kilometers away from the base. In any direction.
And then?
And then you need to get about 2 kilometers off the surface.
Yeah.
And look around for points of interest. Now, when you find those points of interest, they're hard to, they are actually hard to find a little bit. And, once you find the actual spot, you can shoot the skimmers out there, and they will register for your mission.
Will you get bounty on you?
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, see, the problem here is that they have an exclusion zone set up around this base. It's 5 kilometers wide, any direction. So, if
you can't even get close to it.
I can't get 2 kilometers away. No bloody way. The trespass zone is 5 kilometers across, so I wouldn't be able to get that close before I hit the trespass marker, and I've already got a 400 foot of boundary. If I go back in there, I'll be facing retribution for sure.
Yeah, it takes a couple more minutes, or well, a lot more minutes. It's a little bit longer, but yeah, if you find some POIs, you know the blue circles when you're about 2 miles off the. Yeah, find some POIs. You find a couple good ones, you get 3 or 4 skimmers per.
Yeah.
You'll rack up some skimmer kills in about a half hour. And,
well, I only need 3 of them.
With no fight.
Yeah, I can hit this base the way you're supposed to, and it won't matter anyway, because although it's a useful tip, in this situation I'm just going to hit the base and I'll dismiss my ship if there's any risk of attack, and then when my SRV is blown to nothing, I'll immediately take off out of the system and go visit a interstellar factory facility and have my bounty cleared. I'm right near Earth, so finding interstellar factories is not going to be an issue.
Yeah, I found out that tip when there was a Goliath. I learned you cannot take out a Goliath with your SRV.
Really? I have.
Really?
Yeah. Takes a hell of a long time, but I've done it. Holy fuck, have you seen... they've upgraded the bases, you know.
Yeah, I was just driving around one the other day. It was pretty nuts.
They've got a cannon the size of a house on this thing. Holy shit. I swear to God, the nozzle would itself blow you to smithereens.
You should totally fly up and get in that barrel and then fire your gun.
Uh-oh! Something terrible is happening. So I just entered the ground exclusion zone, which is smaller. $600 credit bounty. Yeah, dude, these cannons... Oh, I'm under attack. Hang on. Sentry skimmer located. This is number 1 of 3. Arming weapons, firing. There's a second skimmer now on me. Hang on.
Okay, let's see who the hell I fought. The last Sagarin? See if he has a stream. I'd like to know what the hell he shot me with. That was knocking me around like that.
I'm gonna go turn on the 1 killed. Second. Second skimmer destroyed. I got 1 left. Still no friendlies are attacking, so I'm allied with the controlling faction in this system. And this is one of their bases, so I don't really want to get caught by one of their ships doing this. There it is.
That'd be advanced plasma.
This is defense turret. Stand by. stationary defense turret. There he is! Kill him! Oh, he doesn't have a fucking clue.
Oh, I found him. He does have it.
We have done the mission. We were not caught. However,
Under attack.
missiles are being fired. Missile hit. Uh-oh. I've been caught. You bastard, you fucking bastard. Goddamn rocks.
Whatever that guy's loadout was, I want it.
SRV was obliterated. Stand by. We're above the planet. Our ship was already dismissed by range. I'm pulling the hell out of here. I don't want to fight the Alliance. But I did complete the mission, so it doesn't matter.
Shift drive charging.
Leaving planet orbit. Oh wow, my issue here seems my legal problem is confined to just the station where I was attacking. None of the other stations in the system are reporting me as a outlaw.
Nice.
So that worked out well. Okay, so now we go back to, where are we going? Leyton Star. Then we're headed home to the solar system. Back to Earth, and then we have to park it for the night, because I gotta get up to work in the morning. Do you work?
Yeah, I gotta work in the morning.
What do you do?
I'm a rubber liner.
Why are so many Americans involved in manufacturing? It's amazing.
Oh no, I'm not in manufacturing. I'm in I'm a rubber liner. I apply rubber to high like I live by a lot of gold mines.
Okay.
And they move water, the material through with water, and it drops into chutes and it drops into tanks and stuff.
What do they mine?
Rubber, gold.
Oh, okay. That's worth it then, I guess.
Well, the slurry, the chemicals, and or just the impact of the material will eat the metal away. So I put rubber over that.
Oh, okay.
Or like the inside of rubber line pipes. We do pipes.
Yeah, a friend of mine, the other wingman that I have, he lives in South Dakota, and he's into light manufacturing. Mostly custom components, tools, things that like it's a metal shop, a giant metal shop. They manufacture all kinds of things. They have 2 plants in the United States and 1 in China. But I'm just used to, like, my world is sort of one that consists of professions, right? So I deal with people in government, people in software. Well, I mean, Ottawa is the capital of Canada, which is the city I live in. So obviously there's going to be people in government. It's a huge country. So there's quite a few people in government here. It's probably the main employer of the city, although it's not like it employs half the city or anything. It's a very large employer. And software development's a big thing here too, and that's where I fit in. I'm a software developer.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's about every type of constitutional lawyer you could imagine here. Most people don't have use for that. It's kind of the kinds of professions that ordinary people wouldn't have anything to do with. Imagine a city full of those people. That's what I live with. So there's not anything like mining going on around here. We live at the north end of the Appalachian Mountains. There's no mineral value here. There's some cows nearby. I think there's some farms outside the city. Dairy products. Most of them. Organic foods, that type of thing.
It looks like that must have been oversized. Scaled up components and reinforced munitions housing allows the weapon to pack more of a punch.
Yeah,
but is
that's
that just
right.
damage, or is that...
No, it's not necessary. It may add a bit to damage, but it's mostly, the primary purpose is to knock you off your set, to knock you off balance so that you can't target the enemy.
Yeah,
So,
no, it totally took me down. Like, I can fight a metal lance.
See, that's the kind of enhancement that would work
like
well.
that
Would work well in PvP, but it wouldn't really affect the computer player because the computer will just recover from it instantly. Game AI, it's very simple to write that up so that you can recover from a weapon like that very easily. But a person, a human being, has to learn how to do it, and will make all kinds of mistakes in the process. So you're more likely to get benefit from it in PvP than PvE.
Oh, I finally tried it. I went to the Braintrees and I got my technician.
Oh, good.
And I didn't even realize I needed vanadium, but they had plenty there. So I got my shot cannons.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I love them.
Well, I found my grid resistors. Doing these missions, you get offered grid resistors quite often, so I took those. Now I can manufacture.
Aren't they just a grid one?
Yeah, they are, but for some reason they just don't appear anywhere except in missions. Anyway, their rarity grade is 1, but I can now, I believe, hang on, manufacture synthesis. So, shot cannon munitions I now have available. So that gives me an in-theater reload capacity I didn't have before. Which is always nice, being able to reload your weapon without visiting its starters. Especially in those very rare cases where you're out in the middle of nowhere and some commander comes along and decides to pick a fight with you during exploration of the galaxy. And there's no base anywhere to fix your ship. So you have to fix it yourself.
Jesus, did you even say anything to me?
Hey?
Oh, I'm still... Still really trying to figure out what this guy hit me with. I believe it's time for me to go learn plasma accelerators, because that was just messed up.
Plasma accelerators, I don't think knock you around. They'll do shitloads of damage, but they don't specifically knock you around. A railgun would be more likely to. But I don't know if the railgun can take enhancements of the sort that would knock you even more off balance.
Let's see. What?
Of course, this is all guesswork on my part, because you have to keep in mind I haven't actually tried out all these various weapon configurations.
Maybe sturdy?
What?
Maybe
No.
sturdy?
No, that just makes it more durable and less likely to take damage in the event someone attacks your weapons or all.
See, the meta is feedback cascade and armor piercing. Oversized? Could be oversized again.
Okay, so I did suffer a decrease in allegiance with the Green Party of Y's 1506 plus 7027. And increased my standing with Red Squadron, the controlling faction of Ashby City and this sector. And I'm totally allied with Sirius Corporation, which is always a good thing. Okay, and what did we get for that? We decreased our alliance status with the Federation, increased our rank to Lieutenant Commander 54.
Just fantastic.
Manatee.
I don't want to hear the news about Manatee bio megaships. Some world out there, I don't know if you were watching Galnet at all, if you follow the background stories.
I keep an eye on it.
But the frickin' Manatee thing, have you heard about this megaship that this system's building? They figure they're going to make a fortune off manatee meat. So they built a ship that does nothing but grow manatees in space, aboard a megaship, and then they harvest the meat.
Right. I think they're making it a new rare commodity, right?
Right. And what's so wonderful about this manatee meat, I don't know.
I don't think anybody's tried it. Might actually be good.
Well, it's from an alien planet, so I mean, come on, how good could it be? Have you had any alien food lately? Well, Galaxy's a big place, I wouldn't rule it out, but Jesus.
Sounds like a Futurama episode.
Yeah, I just don't see alien worlds being big on, you know, getting humans hooked on their foods, on their cuisine. Although they did discover the planet Vulcan apparently this morning. Right where Gene
yeah, I was going to tell you about that yesterday.
Isn't that screwed up? Gene Roddenberry predicted that there would be a habitable system, a habitable planet found in that star system. Sure enough,
In Star Trek, though, was it double the size of Earth?
Well, it had heavier gravity than Earth. We know that. They never said how big Vulcan was. This is 2.6 times the size of Earth, they estimate. So, at 2 plus the mass is something like. Sorry, no, it's 2.6 Earth masses, and it's 5 times the radius of Earth, or something like that. So it's a very porous planet, but it's which could imply that it's got a lot of silt and desert and clay-like deposits. But it's tough to say. They just don't have enough data yet, and there's no information on the atmosphere. The only deep space telescope that they're deploying that will be able to identify planet atmospheres outside of this solar system is the James Webb Space Telescope. And it's not due to launch now until 2020. It's suffered a series of project delays. It was supposed to be launched actually this week. The original launch date was this week. And now it's 2 years behind schedule. Costing billions of dollars in the process, I'm sure, because they have to keep it in cold storage while it waits for things to get corrected or finished or whatever. It's a very sensitive instrument, so it has to be kept under very, very controlled conditions. But it's not supposed to be kept on Earth for a duration. It's supposed to be deployed into space. But for some reason, they're not deploying into space yet. Probably because it's too difficult to service right now. The United States has no manned launch capacity of its own. Although it's ending its contract with Russia and going with SpaceX momentarily. The first missions are not going to be to space telescopes to do repair work. They're going to be science missions of other types of higher priority. Largely to do, actually, the initial, some of the initial missions will have to do with the Gateway Station orbiting the Moon, which is going to be a service. Initially, it will be a very small station. It will only have one module, but it will gradually grow in time, I'm sure, and will serve as a jumping-off point between Earth, the Moon, and Mars.
Did they ever release any more information on that one star system where they found what could potentially be a partial Dyson sphere?
No, it's still a mystery.
You ever hear about that?
Still a mystery last I checked. They still don't know what's causing the phenomenon.
Yeah, they said it wasn't so much of a sphere, it was like a ring, but it's potentially the start of a sphere.
It was many rings. It was a band. They called it a band or a mega structure of some sort. But it's around a star, they think, yeah. It's partially occluding the star, and it's gigantic, whatever it is. Could be an indication of a much more advanced civilization with a lot of resources. But
yeah,
there's no way to know just yet.
Like I said, not too likely, but I mean,
well, depending on how far, I don't know off the top of my head how far away this system is, but if it's close enough, James Webb would be able to help provide more data and give us an educated guess as to what's going on. But don't forget, light only travels at light speed, so if it's 16 light years away, we're seeing what's going on there 16 years ago, not what's happening now.
Right.
We're already behind schedule, so if they're building a Dyson sphere, not that it really matters, if they're building a Dyson sphere, they're a civilization far, far beyond our abilities, but it's a lot easier to imagine these things than it is to actually build them.
Right. Yeah, 3% dimmer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Intermittently. And it repeats. And no one knows why. Of course, it's also possible the star is just going to simply explode for no apparent reason that we understand. The universe is a big place and weird things happen all the time.
Yeah, but 3% dimmer, that's
Pretty significant, yeah.
huge.
But mind you,
Yeah,
Betelgeuse, the star Betelgeuse, 600 light years from Earth approximately, or 624 or something like that, is in a period of expansion and rapid contraction, which changes its luminosity. When that thing actually goes up, and the star's at the end of its lifespan, we know what it's doing. It's getting ready to explode. It's a red giant right now, and it's just a matter of time before it blows up and turns into either a pulsar, neutron star, maybe a black hole. If that happens, what we will see, I mean, it's almost certainly not going to turn into a black hole. The most likely scenario is that we will have another sun in our sky, brighter than the moon, for about 3 months. And that's at 600 light years away.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. But it could happen.
I remember seeing something about
the star could explode anytime from like tomorrow morning to like 1,000,000 years from now. Any day within that time frame.
That would be pretty badass to see.
It would be amazing to see. And we're in the safe zone. The star's north and south poles, where its gamma ray bursts would be coming from, don't intersect with Earth's orbit around the sun. So, and they're about 20 degrees off. So we're in a safe area. So all we'll get is spectacular light show. It would be considerably more disconcerting if we were in the conal projection zones for a GRB, a gamma ray burst, because those things can eradicate life off the face of the planet at any given time. And it would be extremely unpleasant because the level of radiation here would go up like several thousand times. Basically, it'd be like having a nuke go off next to your house every morning. Without the nuke, you just get the radiation.
Yeah.
More like a Chernobyl going off next to your house every morning. The only good news for us is that Betelgeuse is in one hemisphere, so at least one hemisphere of the planet would survive. But Betelgeuse is not visible from the southern hemisphere, so everything. Unfortunately, the dominant most of this planet's life is located in the northern hemisphere, so it wouldn't be very lucky. But these things do happen in nature from time to time, on rare occasion. But I think Betelgeuse is
there was also the, what's that?
I don't think we know, I myself don't know of any stars that are at risk of self-destruction, where they would pose a threat to Earth at this point. But we haven't discovered all the stars within even 300 light years of here, so it's conceivable that at least, some unknown star somewhere could go up. But usually a star, when it reaches the end of its lifespan, is noticeable, like it's visible in the sky, because of its size. So odds are probably not in the near future. Next billion years or so are probably safe.
Yeah, it has to collapse into a dwarf, right? Into a white dwarf or a neutron.
Yeah, but when that event happens, there's a release of radiation that goes on for a short period after the star explodes. So the star goes up, and then radiation starts pouring out of it like crazy, and then the radiation spike declines, and then what you're left with is just, you know, the remnant of a star, which is what a white dwarf is. And from that point on, you will still see like jet cones coming out of the north and south poles of the star, but that's about it. I mean, the star will eventually do one of two things. It will either burn absolutely all of its fuel, in which case it'll go dark and turn into a neutron husk, which will just be a body of neutrons floating around in space until a larger gravitational body comes into contact with it and gives it more fuel to contract, or it will turn into a black hole eventually when another large gravity well like a black hole collides with it, and it'll just be absorbed into that. Of course, it's recently been discovered that even black holes are thought now to actually eject some forms of matter. They do eject particulates through their own north and south poles.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, because they're less than 1 atomic mass, they can go faster than light, so technically they're not breaking relativity. But the visible effect is you get a kind of a semicone that comes out of the north and south poles of the star. They figure up at a 90-degree angle to the accretion disk.
I do remember about I think it was a theory about two black holes colliding.
Actually,
one would be ejected.
Well, actually, there was a black hole collision that was recorded recently, if I'm not mistaken. But it wasn't in this galaxy. It was in a galaxy far away, but they were able to capture it somehow on using long-range observations, like the Keck Observatory or something. And they did a recording of it. It was pretty much they just got absorbed into each other. They won't repel each other because that's how galaxies get built. When the Milky Way and Andromeda collide in about 2 billion years, you'll see what happens, right? You'll have two galactic nuclei, and they'll come into contact with each other at the end of the merger. And they'll form a singular galactic nuclei that will form the basis for a new galactic structure, a new galaxy. The term I've heard used is Millandromeda. The blending of the Andromeda and the Milky Way galaxies.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna be a good one.
Well, we can already see Andromeda by looking out our windows at night. If we live in the country, you can just look out your window and you'll see it in the northern hemisphere. But it's going to get a lot bigger over the next couple billion years. Eventually, it'll intersect the galactic cloud that is our galaxy, of course, and is quite visible in all parts of the planet.
Is going online. Yeah, going on.
These missions all suck. They really do. Like, I mean, I'm used to going out to the California Nebula and getting missions that are worth, like, no less than 2 million, usually upwards of between 4 and 6 million per shot. And all I get here is, oh, industry needs 21 units of lepidite for 85,000 credits. Like, who the hell cares? I mean, 85,000 credits is a drop in a very deep bucket as far as I'm concerned. And for Christ's sake, I'm carrying on me 70 million credits that the only way I could possibly spend it all is start yet another ship. I already have 8 ships. Like, maybe I should sell a few of them off and build a kick-ass exploration cruiser or something.
Well, you've already got that Conda set for exploration, right?
No, I can go further. Like, if I configure an Asp Explorer properly, like without weapons or anything at all weighing it down, I could get it to jump through a neutron star up to 260 light years. Probably. With the right upgrades. In a single shot. Right now, I have yet to cross the 100 light year mark on a single jump. In my Anaconda, however, I have been able to jump 85 light years through a white dwarf.
That's not shabby. I think I've gotten... Oh, whoops. I think the most I jumped is 150 something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's Jackson's Lighthouse.
Yeah, I was out there once. I can't remember what was in that system. There's too many damn stars in the galaxy. I mean, 400 billion star systems, it's going to be years before everyone has visited every star system in the galaxy. Like, literally years. Possibly never. And in the midst of all this data is the world called Raxla.
Yeah, I went looking for Raxla one time.
It's hopeless. I mean, you have to go to the Formidine Rift, which is at least 1,000 light years from the bubble.
The Formidine Rift mystery and the Raxla mystery are often conflated, but they're not the same thing.
No, they aren't, but...
A lot of people think it might be in the Rift because of the open-ended one that was like...
Well, I thought that the author, that they, like, Wagar's text, which I haven't read because I didn't take to it, but his text read something about the world Raxla, and there was that girl, what's her name, not a senator, but that old lady who was out at one of the derelicts. No, not Salome. It was Salome's. It was Salome's source. The source of where she got her information that traveled out to the Formidine Rift, found the derelict vessel, and theorized that they were put out there in a search for Raxla by the Federation and the Empire in a secret joint alliance or pact. And whether or not they found it is still unknown, but none of the commanders have generally found it yet. If you're the commander that finds Raxla and announces it to the galaxy, you're going to be like the biggest personality in the game for quite a while. Because that world is buried. And Frontier has already said that they are not going to release its location. So all they have said is that the world Raxla is out in the galaxy somewhere. I'm guessing it probably is in the Formidine Rift based on Salome's source. I think her name was Maria or something. Or Maya, or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but based on that theory of events, it's the closest thing. I mean, yes, it's all very sketchy, but It's the closest thing we have to actual evidence that Raxla might be in any one region of the galaxy. So, if you're going to start a search, why not before Medine Rift?
Well, I had a theory at one time, and I've actually changed the starting location a couple times. So, if you translate Raxla into hex, what you get, let's see.
Well, you're presuming, first of all, to do that, you have to assume that the values of each letter are equivalent to byte code with decimal representations as well as hexadecimal representations in the ASCII character set.
Actually, and maybe this is something you can help me with, because I know a lot of the Thargoid stuff had to do with hex code. So if you translate Raxla into, and I don't think it has 2 X's, because you get 72, 61, 78, 78, 6C, 61.
Right.
Well, 72, 61, 78 sounds like coordinates on a map. And if there's only one X, you can drop that 78.
Yeah, but what if not?
And then 6C.
I don't know if you can just arbitrarily... I don't think you can just arbitrarily drop an X because you don't think it belongs there. And it doesn't really add up to evidence either. Like either the theory holds or it doesn't. No, it's more than a repeat, because its origins, again, come from an author who had a very specific agenda and a specific storyline in mind. So the data that we're working from is less than 1,000 years old in game lore history, so it's probably accurate, and language in this type of environment wouldn't change that radically that quickly. So,
but 6C is what gets me, because that's a moon of the 6th planet.
It could be 6C, but it means that precludes the possibility of going above the letter F. What about HIJ? I've been to systems, where they have planets with moons, that go as high as K. So, that wouldn't work in a hexadecimal system at all.
If this is actually a set of coordinates, then it'd be the 6th planet, 3rd moon.
You have to understand, 6C is just a value in a different numerical base, right? From 0 to 15, literally, in decimal. So 6C works out to be, in decimal, it's something like 82 or 83, I think. No, it's more than that. 93. Anyway, it works out to being something like that in decimal. The hexadecimal base that we saw before, it was only, you can't be mystified or misled by the fact that hexadecimals were relevant to deciphering some of the Thargoid clues that were left in the past, because they formed to known data storage standards and they were transmitted using known protocols that humans invented. Why would the Thargoids use protocols that humans invented? It's an alien species. I think you'll find the source of the information is actually human, but it's about the Thargoids at some level.
Yeah.
But at any rate, regardless,
I had taken that, and my theory was that those were coordinates, but Sol was not the 0. And
Okay.
I had the idea that Lave was the star
Why not Shenrar
point
Tedesra?
in.
Why not Shenrar Tedesra?
I did it from there as well because it's possible that it wasn't coordinates from Sol, it was coordinates for the Dark Wheel.
Yeah, Dark Wheel, exactly.
Which would make Shinrarta 0.
That's right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is nothing at the location from.
I see.
There was one that I got really excited.
And did you go to the system, or?
Oh yeah. Well, on most of them I just checked the map and there's nothing there. But there was one. I think it was a positive, negative combination for starting from Lave, and there was a system directly just right exactly where I predicted it to be.
Okay.
And I got super excited. I went out there. There's a binary star with nothing but asteroids.
Okay. Well, there's another theory. Here's my theory. At first I thought, where are the Thargoids coming from? That's what Raxxla is rumored to be, is a place to other dimensions or perhaps other worlds, right? And the only I mean, there's only one reality that we can ever know of anyway. It would probably be this one, quote unquote. So, that being the assumption, which I think is a fairly safe one, I theorized that Raxxla was actually a transgalactic gate technology that the Thargoids are using to come into our galaxy. That they actually originate in a completely different galaxy. There are 2 candidate galaxies that I looked at. Well, 3 technically, but you'll see why I said 2 in just a minute. There's a galactic structure called the Large and Small Magellanic Cloud, located at about 150,000 and 200,000 light years outside of the Milky Way galaxy, respectively.
Yes, it's the 2 white clouds below the disk.
Right, and you can see them in your map. That's what I was getting to. So, but there's a 3rd galaxy that actually makes even more sense for 2 reasons. One being, and this does not preclude the possibility of life existing in non-spiral galaxies, but spiral galaxies have dynamics to them that promote life-generating results. It's theorized by a galactic habitable zone, if you like. It's been called. Now, whether or not that galactic habitable zone exists, Earth just happens to be in it. And for the Milky Way, we're about halfway out from the center towards the outer rim. There are dynamics of stellar self-destruction and stellar behavior in the rim that are not necessarily all that conducive to life-generating results on worlds located outwards too far from the galactic core. Worlds that are too close to the galactic core are going to be inundated with radiation, so it, again, doesn't eliminate the possibility of life, but to get complex organisms is more difficult the closer to the galactic core you get, because the stars are radiating too much radiation and too much heat and self-destruct all the time near the galactic core, relatively speaking. So we're in the middle, in this beautiful area of the galaxy where, you know, stars don't explode too often, and when they do, they're usually pointed the wrong way, and, you know, so life that takes billions of years to evolve, the most complex of life forms, can find safe homes in this ring around the center of the galaxy. So goes the theory. Now, that's in the real world. That doesn't mean that's what this game is holding to. And the Large and Small Magellanic Clouds are what we call irregular shaped galaxies. They don't have an organizing black hole. There's no structure to them. They're just giant balls and collections of stars. that sporadically come into and out of existence. And there's enough of them to create enough matter for this process to have taken billions of years on its own. The small and large Magellanic Clouds also orbit the Milky Way galaxy. They're satellites of the Milky Way, right? So they're not too far away. 150,000 light years in intergalactic terms is right next door. 2 million light years away is Andromeda. And actually it's 2.3 million light years away. And beyond that one, just on the other side of Andromeda, ironically enough, is another galaxy, the second closest galaxy to the Milky Way, the Triangulum galaxy. Now, if there were civilizations with transgalactic gate-like technology that could portal from their galaxy to, say, this one, we're in a line of 3 galaxies that all have structure, are all related to one another. One's on a collision course with us anyways. Maybe the Thargoids have a longer outlook on the future than humanity. Perhaps they're thinking ahead. What will our future be like when we merge the 2 galaxies together and have to coexist with all these brand new aliens? So what do? They build a gate in the Andromeda galaxy where they originate from, and they gate here. And they gate in where? Because of the energy requirements, they have to gate in at the closest point to the Andromeda galaxy. Guess where that happens to be in our galaxy? The Formidine Rift.
Where's that?
In a direct line between Earth and the Andromeda galaxy, yeah. Look at your galactic map, you'll see that just beyond the Formidine Rift, you'll see the still distant Andromeda galaxy. And just past that one, there's another spiral galaxy, that's called Triangulum. It's about 6 million light years away.
Let's see. Formidine Rift is super far, and isn't there only like a single corridor that you can't even get there?
You can't visit, by conventional hyperdrive, you can't visit the Andromeda galaxy right now. No, all the players exist in the Milky Way only.
No, I meant no, the Formidine.
The Formidine? What do you mean? Well, you can jump out there, sure. Why not?
I thought there was like a section out there that you had to go through a corridor, and
No. Well, there is a corridor called the Formidine Rift. It's a region that is less populated with stars than the arms that it separates, which would, I believe, be the Cygnus Sagittarius arm and the Perseus arm. I'm not sure. We are part of a structure called the Orion arm, and specifically the Orion spur.
yeah, I'll have to look for the.
Because we're sort of part of a spur-like construct off the Orion arm. But, anyways, the point being, there are regions of space in the galaxy that are kind of less populated with stars. They look on the map like they're completely devoid of stars. May look like they're just pockets of empty space. But you zoom in and you'll find out, no, there's still like lots of stars there. That holds true to real life. If you look at a map of the Milky Way galaxy, according to what we know, the available data, you'll see that there's arms to the Milky Way galaxy. We know that there are arms. We have X-ray telescopes dating back all the way to the 60s. So we've started labeling these regions like with Perseus, Orion, Cygnus, and Sagittarius. So there are, and then there's the Norma arm closest to the center. So there's like 5 we're in part of a structure called a barred spiral. There are two bars that come out kind of horizontally from the central hub, the big glut of stars in the center of the galaxy. Well, there's two arms that come out either side of that blob, and that's the normal arm. So there are like 7 arms to the Milky Way galaxy total. Based on what we know so far. Anyways, the Formidine Rift separates 2 of these arms, and it's the outermost arm and one of the inner arms. And it's in a direct line between us and the Andromeda Galaxy, which is why we've seen so many Thargoids. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out why we were seeing Thargoids at all. They didn't have to appear in this part of the galaxy. Why were they so interested in coming here first? It just so happens that if you're trying to enter the Milky Way galaxy from Andromeda, you know, and assuming there are no other civilizations on the other side, humanity would be one of the more likely species you'd encounter first. So that was the basis of my theory for determining the likely origin of the Thargoids as the Andromeda Galaxy. But time will tell. I'm pretty confident at some point in this game's legacy we'll figure out where Raxor is.
Yeah, as soon as they want us to. I don't think it's actually in-game yet. I think they have a location fix. That's about it.
Well, that means that they've lied. They say it is in-game.
Yeah, I find it pretty doubtful, but they also say it's in-game and it's let's see, it's in-game, no clues, been here since the start. What else can I say about the son of a bitch? But it doesn't, I mean, they also said that the stuff in the Formidine Rift was already there.
What do you mean, stuff? There's some bases out there, but there's not. Most of them are just derelict research stations. There's a lot of wreckage in that part of the galaxy for a place that isn't supposed to have been traversed by humans yet. I mean, there's clearly human technology out here. Just looking through it.
What were they? It was, there you are. What do they call them? The generation ships.
Yeah.
The generation ships, I believe they caught them up in a lie because they said all that stuff was already out there, and then when it come to find out that nothing was out there until they put an update and they put a clue in and it was like, oh hey, it's over here.
Yeah, but don't forget the most of the derelict ships, all but one in fact, are located inside the bubble, and they're located. The earliest of them was launched at the end of this century, at the end of the 21st century. That was the first one. After that, they start launching, you know, colony ships, sort of in all directions, but they're definitely taking up a significant portion of resources during Earth's history over the course of several missions and over the course of several decades. The last of them appears to have left somewhere around 2700 something AD. And then there's pretty much, that's when the rise of smaller ships, and you have the older, what the hell was the name of that fuel they used in Elite? There were two predecessor games to Elite. They used a different fuel source than the one we're using now. And they left a hyperspatial cloud behind that you could use to track ships. I played Elite 2 Frontier because I'm just that old and remember the game. So they had these hyperspatial clouds anyway. You take off in your ship and you disappear, and people could follow you for a while your cloud was dissipating. You needed a hyperspace cloud analyzer as a component, but as long as you had that component, you could follow people around in a fashion similar to the wake scanner that we have now. But the wake scanner is relying on a completely different basis for entering hyperspace than the one that was used after 2700. At that point, you have the rise of the small exploration vessels. No longer are these giant colony ships, but interstellar trade begins. The colonies that were established start to trade with the solar system. The economy grows, and over time, eventually you arrive at the bubble, where there are, several dozen worlds, over 100 worlds are colonized by human beings, and then things go really crazy because those worlds, in some cases, start launching colony missions of their own. Some of them get to be very populous, like the Achenar system, which of course became the founding world of the Empire, and has a population that's almost at par with the solar system. It's within 10 billion anyway, which is remarkable for 1,000 years. So they lose the designs during some kind of incident. I can't remember the name, but there was a catastrophe of some sort. They lose technology to build the cloud-based hyperdrive. And then very shortly after that, a new hyperdrive technology is developed. And then this is after 2900, and things are back on the road again. So that by the year 3300 now, we have what you see before us. But Raxla has been in the legends going back to, the early 2700s, I believe, based on game lore. So that's like already 600 years plus of legacy. Well, 700 actually. So there's quite a, when you think about it, I mean, yeah, the Dark Wheel is being very hush-hush about everything, and they're kind of sketchy. Maybe a little bit creepy, but they have been talking about this and passing information through the grapevine for quite a while, and one of them may have discovered Raxla at some point, recorded the information somewhere. It's most likely that when we track down Raxla, that'll be the source of how human beings discover it, rather than some chance encounter that some commander out in the Formidine Rift has with new technology orbiting a previously unknown Earth-like planet.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's in game. I think somebody would have found it by now.
No, we'll find out. Where am I going? I'm staring at the galaxy right now, trying to figure out where I was headed. I guess I'm headed back to Sol. I finished all my... No, that's not true. I know what I have to do. I need interstellar factors, and we're going to the Telesian system. Yes? No.
Yeah, the crime and punishment on here is dumb. Like, the hot modules is... I've about had it with that.
Well, they are gradually improving it, I guess, is the best comment I could make about it. They've made modifications so it's possible at least to get rid of all your bounty claims against you, unless your reputation sinks to such a low level that you're running around murdering players left, right, and center for no reason and get caught doing so. But you got to think about it in terms of ordinary society. I realize you like to play PvP, but you have to remember that in real life you can't just go around murdering people, you know, and collecting points on your points card or whatever. Haha, I've murdered, you know, 60 people this week. And that would get you.
Oh no, I haven't murdered anybody. I don't gang people.
But there are people who do, and if there were no police ships and there was no consequence, then that would be the end of that, right? Like, it would be stupid, but it would be stupid for another reason. So you have to have some sort of system in place to penalize people. And right now they're moving you to a detention ship and letting you cool your heels there.
All of my modules are hot, just from mission running.
Well, just go to Interstellar Factors and get them unhotted then.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I would need to. The interstellar factors in my region are one's at a planetary and one's 4,000 light seconds out.
This late breaking news from one of my wingmen. Thargoid Hydra class vessels are advancing on the bubble. ETA 5 weeks.
That's a long time for a species that can jump anywhere they want.
These are their large capital ships. The only ships they have that might be bigger are if my theory about the Thargoid base installations are correct, and that those are actually base ships that they're planning on launching off the planet's surface. In other words, they seed them with barnacles. The bases grow until they're the size of base ships, and then they launch the base ships off the planet into orbit. When that happens, humanity will be richly fucked. Because there won't be any way to stop those. Especially if they're escorted by Hydra class interceptors. The Hydra class right now is threat level 8. It is the highest threat level in a single ship you can have. I suspect the base ships are threat level 10, maybe even higher. I don't know if the scale goes any higher, but they seem to be getting tougher and tougher as time goes on. Even their scouts now are somewhat resistant, as we saw before, but anyway, you were saying something. I just thought I'd let you in on that little tidbit of late breaking news.
I forgot what I was saying. I don't like how they're just making them bigger. They just add a heart, and they add
more points, more armor points.
That bigger Thargon swarm.
Well, they added shields.
It's just the same ship, just bigger.
No, they between the time that I last attacked the Cyclops and, this past week, they added these fucking shields that are virtually impenetrable onto their basic unit. Well, yeah, but the shield's impenetrable. You're fucked at that point. They just keep launching Thargons at you until you're dead. What are you supposed to do? There's no defense against that. So,
you just have to evade. And I can't evade, that's the problem.
Well, then they leave. They turn and they engage their hyperdrive or whatever the hell it is, and they disappear. And then, you might survive, but you're not going to win.
No, well, the shield comes down.
Eventually.
It's only up for like 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes that the Thargons have to just poke the hell out of you. Most commanders just leave as soon as that shield goes up. They engage their hyperdrives and go find another target. From what I've seen so far. But maybe not. Maybe I should hang in battle with them a little longer. But they can't. But they were. I mean, those Thargons inside that 2 minutes. I have over 2,000 shields, and they can rip down all my shields in those 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So what? I'm supposed to fight the
That's what I
Thargoids
can't
and
do.
stand toe to toe with them with my armor? Like that's not gonna work.
No, you gotta poke the you gotta poke the Cyclops and take it apart, and then you'll have Thargon swarms that you gotta deal with flat cannons.
Yeah, but as long as they don't have a shield. It's when they have a shield that I have the problem.
Oh yeah, you just have to evade them, not like run away, but you have to just stay out of their firing line until that shield
Yeah, if they
comes
surround
down,
you,
and you can glide it again. You pick out a heart.
if they surround you, you're in deep trouble. Okay, this is bullshit. Going to a nearby interstellar factors, and I'm going to go to the solar system. Okay, cargo fuel. Wow, your kid is still up? Is that pretty late, eh? Ooh.
Oh, he's like an hour past bedtime. But if he's being good, we don't put him down.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's being good, he'll stay up a little bit later.
It sounds like he's getting kind of tired, though.
Yeah, he's pissed. Let's see, I'm not, what am I doing? Oh, I'm gonna go target practice with plasma and rails, because I need to do that.
5 weeks, is that? I wonder if that means they're going to attack Earth in 5 weeks. It seems a little bit sooner than I would have expected.
What source is this?
Hey?
Yeah, where'd that info come from?
Oh, the info comes from one of my 2 primary wingmen. I trust the source. He's a fellow Canadian. He lives in Calgary, Alberta. You know what? Canadians and Americans are almost equal in terms of numbers that are here. But I guess I'm looking for Canadians more than most specifically, just because I want to identify them. But so far, I've identified about an equal number of Canadians versus Americans. It's interesting. I would have thought the Americans would vastly outnumber the Canadians. There's another wingman I have. He's in Portugal, and he's from Romania, just to complicate matters. Ever try to hear a Romanian speak Portuguese? It's interesting.
No. So, I don't know what's happening here, but listen to this. So, on my power plant, with everything... Why is that all... Okay, so on my power plant, my ship is using 107%. So, when I I put out hard points, all of my upper levels should shut down, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's supposed to happen.
There it is.
But what you need there, what that tells me that you need is you need a better power plant.
Well, I'm A-rated. I'm just over-engineered.
And do you have the best possible size for your class of ship?
Oh yeah, this ship is maxed. It's a PvP meta right now. But
well,
no,
what I like to do,
it didn't.
When I'm overpowered, I like to
modules.
shut. When I shut off the. I start by shutting off the SRV bay because it gobbles up a huge amount of power, and then I start shutting off less essential systems that don't need to be on all the time. If I run out of those, I upgrade the power plant, and so far that strategy has worked out fine.
Right. No, the only thing that has shut down sensors. I've got everything set. Yeah, like my power priorities are set properly. And oh, there they go. All right.
But you've got to have your weapons. You've got to have your weapons available in case you need them. Otherwise, they're useless to you. You may as well just dump them.
Right. Now I've got everything set. I don't know. I don't quite understand. Oh.
Okay, Commander. Proceed to landing.
I was gonna say, this power plant was built for this loadout, except I changed to prismatics. There's my 7%. But no, when I deployed my weapons to check my power priorities, nothing shut down.
Oh. That's alright. Well, you have to click, you have to turn it off.
Yeah, I changed something and then everything shut down. So, oops. What I need here is some engineering.
1,000 meters from touchdown.
Okay, and here we are at Interstellar Factors. We're going to clear off our criminal record right away. Because you just hate being a criminal. Of course, in the United States, I don't know what really makes a criminal in the United States. In Canada, we have a codified criminal law. So if it's not the criminal code, you're not a criminal. But the United States seems to work differently. There's different terms. Felony. There's felony level charges, and then there's non-felony charges. And depending on whether or not you're a felon, you can become a criminal.
Stellar.
I don't really understand how it all works. I don't live there.
Frustrating. Oh, the Ixuka.
Clean off the criminal record. We owe 25,000 credits in bounty. No, wait, 2,300 credits in fines. Paid. We get 25,000 in change in bounties. And what else? Now we have to set a new target. We're headed home to Earth. Earth! A planet.
Are you on base there in Sol?
I'm headed for Sol right now. Now, where is it? I can't find Sol. Disappeared. Hate it when that happens. Well, it's Beta Hydra. It's the Federation shipyard. There it is. Sol. You will go to the planet number 3, Earth. Whenever you feel like you want to display the map. And now, destination is set. So we spent a night traveling from base to base, trying to improve our Federation rank, which we did. Hopefully soon we will be a captain.
When ready, Commander.
In rank. And then all we gotta do is become an admiral, and we can get our Corvette. This ship is much too big.
I think I'm more like one above ensign, whatever that is. Petty officer.
There is a large craft coming through.
Caution. Dangerous maneuvers will not be tolerated.
We did not receive a fine for our collision. It was in the doorway. Very well. Get us the hell out of here. Oh, we have to raise the line. Charging 14.55 light years.
Clear of station perimeter. Goodbye, Commander.
75%, 90%. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump.
Damn it.
Ah, the sun.
All I wanted to go do is shoot a couple things. This is getting ridiculous.
If you want to shoot Thargoids, you just have to go to the Acropolis in the Minimar system.
No, I was going to target just with railguns and plasma accelerators.
You need a low
Because
intensity
I'm coming up on, this time next week I'll have the advanced plasma accelerator.
What does that do for you?
It's got a longer range, higher fire rate.
It's also a fixed weapon.
Yeah.
I'm starting to really hate the fact my really big Guardian gun only fires in one direction. Mind you, if I get a bead on someone, it does an incredibly huge amount of damage, but it doesn't happen as often as I would like.
Oh yeah, my main ship's an FDL. This thing just zips around. If I can't get a beat on somebody, that's all entirely my fault.
It's also very difficult to do. are flying a lower class ship. Mind you, I did hit a Cobra Mark III tonight and killed it in under 5 seconds just by shooting my shock cannons at it right out of coming out of hyperspace. And it was putting out a false distress signal, but it got wiped out the instant I came out of hyperspace, basically. So I can't complain too much. I mean, I have some awfully powerful weapons on this ship. The only thing that's missing is the ability to target them exactly the way I want. Well, all of them exactly the way I want. I can target most of them the way I want.
Okay, Commander, make your way to landing pad 40.
Stand right.
Automated docking confirmed.
We are at FSP number 6640, Galileo Station. It orbits the Moon, which itself is, of course, around Earth. Why do they still call it the Moon? It's not the only moon.
Oh.
Okay, that's it for tonight. I gotta go to bed. It's 1 a.m. here, so we will let you go.
Alright, man.
We'll talk to you again in the near future, I'm sure. Take care.
Later on.
Bye-bye. And that'll be it for tonight, folks. Don't forget you can get full digest of all of Commander Trium's activities using video properties. You can also click I like or the subscribe button as suits your preference in the YouTube interface. If you're running Google Chrome on Windows 10 and see the bell icon to the right of the subscribe button in the YouTube interface, you can also get a mini dialogue advising you when there is new content either live or recorded. Here on YouTube, the site that houses our video flight log archive. I am Commander Trium, signing off for the evening. Wishing everyone all the best. Fly safe, Commanders. Commander Trium, signing off.